Let's take our Red Ryder BB guns and go tell Black Bart and his bandits to get off our lawns. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well out there. And since we're getting deeper and deeper into December, closer to Christmas, and we just had a Christmas Story Christmas drop just a few weeks ago, I figured what the heck, for my big Christmas review, I'm going to go back and review the original. But before we talk about it and go head off to Cleveland Street, do me a favor, like, comment, and subscribe. Join me here, I greatly would appreciate that. Today we're going to talk about the original, A Christmas Story. This film dropped on November 18th of 1993. It's rated PG. It's an hour and 33 minutes long, had a budget of $3.3 million, and upon release it made $20 million. Now, this was a passion project for Bob Clark. Now, this is the second Christmas classic Bob Clark gave us. His original Christmas classic came out in '74, and that's none other than Black Christmas. Now, a very different type of Christmas film, a very dark, excellent horror film. If you've never seen it, check it out. The 1974 original. The 2019 remake, avoid at all costs. Check out the original. It's a far superior film and just a great horror film set at Christmas time, nonetheless. Bob Clark was actually working on the script for this film for 10 years with Gene Shepard, who wrote the original short stories this film is based on. And those original short stories were called In God We Trust, All Others Pay Cash, which was a sign behind Flick and Flick's Tavern. In the new film, if you haven't seen it yet, when you watch it, check out for the sign behind the bar. It says that very same line on the sign, so check for that. Now, Bob Clark co-wrote and directed this film, and this film was made possible by the huge success of Porky's. Although not many studios were interested in this film, but the huge success of Porky's is what Bob Clark was able to parlay and to be able to actually make this film. Now, in this film, we got Peter Billingsley as Ralphie Parker, our main character. It's basically his whole film is seen through his eyes. Melinda Dillon plays Mother Parker. That's all we know her as, his mom. Darren McGavin plays the old man or father in this film. Gene Shepard actually narrates this film as adult Ralphie. We don't actually see him, but we hear him quite a bit throughout the film. And Zach Ward plays Scott Farkas, and he reappears in the new film, A Christmas Story Christmas. And this film is very simple and childlike experience and brings memories back from my childhood. This basically is about Ralphie Parker and what he wants for Christmas, and what he wants nothing more than for this Christmas is a Red Ryder BB gun. We see him and his brother, some of his friends lined up at Higbee's department store window right in the beginning of the film, and we hear the narration by Gene Shepard. Christmas is fast approaching, and Ralphie's trying to figure out how he can talk his parents into getting him, or giving them the idea subliminally about getting him a Red Ryder BB gun. That's all he wants. That's all he can think about. And he even leaves like ads in his mother's magazine, and he kind of tries to bring it up subtly, although not so subtle. And throughout the film, we see him going to school, leading up to Christmas with his friend Flick and Schwartz. We always had that famous scene where Schwartz puts his tongue on the flagpole and it freezes, and we have the fire department come and get it off. And we have Scott Farkas bullying the boys and Ralphie's brother at certain points, well, until Ralphie finally snaps and beats the shit out of Scott Farkas. And we have him going closer and closer to Christmas, and we have them at the Christmas parade. We have Ralphie and his brother going to see Santa on that awesome setup, which I would have loved as a kid, where you get to exit seeing Santa by going down a slide. That's amazing. I love it. I don't know why I never saw that as a kid. That's a great idea. Probably more for liability purposes, why it's always on the ground and not up in the air. But it's still a cool-ass set, and it would have been awesome to see Santa like that as a child. And then finally we get to Christmas morning, where we wake up, there's a fresh snowfall on the ground, everything's coated with just sparkling white snow, and Ralphie and his brother go downstairs, and he even says in the narration, Christmas had arrived, it's come. And we see them tearing through the gifts. Ralphie didn't get his Red Ryder BB gun, but his old man goes, Ralphie, what's that in the corner? And Ralphie goes over, finds one last gift hidden behind the desk, and as he opens it, as we all know if you're a fan of this film, as I am, he did receive his Red Ryder BB gun. Santa did hear his prayers, and he got what he wanted. And we see him going out into the yard to shoot it. And throughout the film, he hears his mom say, and his teacher says, you'll shoot your eye out, kid. And even Santa says it to him when he goes to see Santa. And he almost damn near shoots his eye out because he wasn't too smart and put his target on a metal sign, and the BB shot back at him, hit him, knocked his glasses off, and he broke them. but his mother saves the day because he's a spare pair, and the Bumpus dogs next door come in and eat their turkey, and they have to go have a Chinese turkey, which is duck. And we have that great scene, that last final shot, well, the shot with the kids in the beds, dreaming about spectacular hip shots as they nod off into dreamland, and mom and dad sitting downstairs with a glass of wine with just the light of the Christmas tree and the radio and the snow outside, and that's how we end A Christmas Story. I've always loved this film, and it's only grown in popularity since '83, since it's been released. I mean, TNT shows it for 24 hours, and Christmas Day, even though I own the Blu-ray and I watched it already, I'll watch it Christmas Day several times as it cycles through all day long because I love this film. It's one of my favorite Christmas films, along with Christmas Vacation and It's a Wonderful Life and some other films, but this is one of my top 3 favorite Christmas films of all time. It's a film I grew up on. My mom doesn't really care for this film when I was growing up. She thinks the younger brother's annoying with his whining, but I've always loved this film, and we can all relate to Ralphie is that one gift we really, really want, and we hope we get. And sometimes Santa would bring it, and sometimes Santa wouldn't. So that's just life. But it's just a great, fun Christmas movie through the eyes of a child who is just super focused on one Christmas gift. And when he does get it, the glee on his face is just magical and takes me back to when I was a child and I would get that one gift I really, really wanted. So a lot of nostalgia for this film. Obviously, it's now known as a classic. And Bob Clark, once again, gave us 2 Christmas classics. And this film was shot mostly in Cleveland and Toronto. Obviously, the Christmas Story house is in Cleveland, Ohio. You can go visit it if you like. They have tours, although it is up for sale. I don't know if it was purchased or not. As I said in the beginning, Bob Clark, it took him 10 years working with Gene Shepard to get the story right and then finally be able to get the financing to go make this film. And other than that, I think it's all I have. I already said not many studios were interested in this film. Darren McGavin, those gibberish rants, profane rants that he gives throughout the film, especially with the furnace, were all ad-libbed by Darren McGavin. He would make them up on the day. And actually, Bob Clark almost sent the script. Actually, Jack Nicholson got his hands on the script somehow and was very interested in playing the old man in the film. But the studio didn't want to pay Jack Nicholson the money. And actually, Bob Clark even said when he was still alive that Darren McGavin was the perfect choice for the old man. And honestly, all these years later, although we've lived with it for so long, I can't see anybody else other than Darren McGavin playing that role either. He is the old man to me. And in the new film, A Christmas Story Christmas, they do pay a loving tribute to that character and Darren McGavin. So if you haven't seen the new one yet, it's on HBO Max. Check it out. Matter of fact, they're streaming this one as well. You can watch both of them back to back. And they do make nice bookends to each other as a complete story of Ralphie as a child and Ralphie as an adult. So there's my pitch for A Christmas Story Christmas. If you haven't seen it, you can see my review. Just scroll on down. I just reviewed it last week. Overall, this is one of my favorite Christmas films. I know I said that earlier. So I would give A Christmas Story at the end of the day a 9.75 out of 10. I love this film that much. A 9.75 out of 10 for A Christmas Story. What are your thoughts on this one? Leave a comment down below. Let me know. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. Share this video. I would appreciate that. I hope you all have a great Christmas season and a very Merry Christmas. But until next time, bye.